I never believed the warnings about the lonely stretches of Highway 16 in Western Canada. Not until the night my engine died, and the headlights behind me went completely dark. This happened back in the winter of 2021. I was working as a long-haul courier, delivering auto parts from Calgary, Alberta, deep into British Columbia. If you've ever driven through the Canadian Rockies at night during December, you know how isolating it feels. It's not just dark, it's pitch black. Miles and miles of dense pine trees blanketed in thick snow, with almost no cell coverage. It was around 2:15 a.m. A heavy snowstorm had just started, reducing my visibility to barely 20 feet in front of my truck. My windshield wipers were struggling against the buildup of ice, and my hands were stiff on the steering wheel. I was tired, freezing, and looking for any place to pull over just to catch my breath. I finally saw the flickering neon sign of an old abandoned gas station up ahead. It looked like it hadn't been open since the late 90s, but the rusted overhang offered a small shelter from the snow. I pulled in and killed the engine. That's when I noticed it. Parked in the shadows beside an old rusty dumpster was a black, beat-up 90s Ford pickup truck. There were no lights on inside, but exhaust was steadily rising from its tailpipe. Someone was sitting in there, idling in the freezing dark.
I sat in my truck, watching through my side mirror. A minute passed, then 2. Suddenly, the headlights of that black pickup snapped on, blinding me in the mirror. It slowly pulled out from the shadow and blocked the exit onto the highway. An uneasy feeling settled heavy in my stomach. Something wasn't right. Without hesitation, I turned my key, cranked my engine back to life, and drove right past him through the snowbank onto the main road. For the next 10 miles, I kept checking my rearview mirror. Sure enough, 2 bright yellow halogen lights were trailing closely behind me, riding my bumper. I stepped on the gas, trying to put distance between us, but the snow was getting thicker. Then, out of nowhere, my dashboard lights flickered violently. My truck sputtered, lost speed, and completely died. I coasted to a halt on the shoulder of the highway, surrounded by pitch-black wilderness. No phone service, no other cars. The black pickup slowly pulled up behind me. It stopped about 30 feet back. Then it shut off its headlights. Total darkness. My heart was hammering against my ribs so hard I could hear it. So hard I could hear it over the sound of the wind outside. I locked my doors and crouched low under the steering wheel, peering out through the frost-covered side window. In the pale moonlight reflecting off the snow, I saw a tall, heavy figure step out of the pickup. He was wearing a dark, heavy coat, his face completely hidden under a low beanie. He wasn't walking towards my driver's window. He was walking slowly toward the back of my truck, carrying something long and heavy in his right hand. I heard a metallic clank as he grabbed the handle of my rear cargo door. He was trying to break in. Panic took over. I jammed the key into the ignition and turned it with everything I had. The engine churned, choked, and miraculously roared back to life. I slammed my foot on the gas pedal, spinning my tires in the ice before gaining traction and launching forward into the night. I didn't stop, look back, or slow down until I hit a brightly lit snowplow station 20 miles down the road. When I finally got out to inspect my truck under the station lights, my stomach dropped. Deep, heavy scratches were carved into the metal near the rear latch, and my rear taillight was smashed to pieces. I quit long-haul driving 3 months later,